Portland police raid Shroom House overnight. I talked about the Shroom House. It was Oregon State passed this legislation where magic mushrooms, psilocybin, is basically legal in a therapeutic setting. You got to have a doctor. And this hasn't been all implemented yet. But there's this one rogue store in Portland. Of course, it's Portland. One rogue store in Portland called the Shroom House, where they just opened up and started selling shrooms. $50 for an eighth of an ounce. Wild, right? Yeah, they just, this is just what we're doing. So I've been podcasting on that. It's been open for almost, I think, a month. Portland police raid Shroom House overnight. They seized evidence and made multiple arrests at the unlicensed shroom storefront. That's what you do. You just open up your shroom store and go for it. All right. Why wouldn't this happen in Portland? The Portland Police Bureau raided the West Burnside psychedelic mushroom shop, Shroom House, this morning. Police seized evidence and made multiple arrests. A spokesperson for the Bureau, Sergeant Kevin Allen, told Willamette Week the unlicensed shop has been openly selling psychedelic mushrooms for over a month, apparently in violation of various laws. No kidding. No kidding. It's like having a cocaine store. Literally, that's one of the comments I read. It's like having a cocaine store in Portland. How do you think that'd go over? Well, a little cocaine. Now, granted, in Portland, in Oregon, where you've basically legalized personal possession of most all drugs, why wouldn't you sell some shrooms, right? This morning, the store appeared to be emptied of merchandise and there were signs of a hasty exit. The store's ATM machine was open as if it had been emptied, and a visible empty cash box suggested closure, as did the padlocked front door, but 3 people stood in line in the rain anyway. They're just waiting for somebody to show up and sell them some shrooms. They wanted to trip that day. Yeah. Wanted to do a little inside, raining outside trip, and no can do. Shroom store, not open, closed. We've been talking about this for a little bit from the standpoint of, here's a really good photo kind of showing, okay, it's just as if we're looking in through the windows and it's like, all right, there's the cash machine. Okay, everything else is just kind of there. I would say that management, I would say that ownership, yeah, they booked it out of there, right? They're just like, what shrooms? There's no shrooms because you guys took them all during your police raid. This is a store that's not supposed to be open. It's just simply not supposed to be open. But it has been. And the last podcast I did on it, towards the end of the article, I basically said, authorities are aware that this is going on. It's hard not to notice when you've got a line around the block for people looking to get their shrooms. One guy said, it's like Christmas came early. That guy probably stocked up on like half a pound of shrooms or something. I don't know. It's wild though, right? Let's take a real quick peek. Here's another article I found on the same story. And this came out just a couple of days ago on the 6th of December. Who's behind a West Burnside storefront selling psychedelic mushrooms at retail? For many Portlanders, the Shroom House is a Christmas miracle. It's a miracle. Gosh darn miracle. It's open. Shrooms aren't legal. This is a Portland. Keep Portland weird. All makes sense, doesn't it? Biggest attraction in Portland this holiday season has been a shop selling psychedelic mushrooms at retail on West Burnside Avenue, a block from the Crystal Ballroom. Shroom House is hard to miss. It has 7 signs, including a billboard across the street, all showing a cartoon cottage. Its roof formed by a red and white mushroom cap. At most hours, it has a line stretching a block east along the sidewalk. Since December 1st, when a Willamette Week reporter strolled in and bought 7 grams of penis envy fungi. Is that a strain of shrooms? Penis envy? I guess it is. I mean, my shroom knowledge is very minimal, other than what I actually read, that's in the media. And so somebody bought 7 grams of penis envy fungi and wrote about it. Shroom House has been mobbed. The wait on Saturday stretched to 5 hours as customers queued along Burnside seeking enlightenment, an appointment with God, or just a good time. one guy I read about, he was like, I just want to use them for recreation. Just want to get high on the shrooms. That's what we're doing. Don't really care about the medicinal aspect of it. Now, where this all gets confusing is that said residents of Portland believe that it's legal, which it is, but only in a very limited context. And that is with, I believe, a doctor or, it can't just be, well, let's just sell some shrooms, because the ability for stores to do that, they haven't even been able to apply for the permit needed to sell mushrooms, psilocybin mushrooms, legally yet. That's not even in the cards. We're nowhere near that yet. So when the owners of this store were asked, well, is it legal? They would say, well, I mean, we're a health and wellness store. We're open. So they probably sold some other stuff, but their main deal, shrooms. Shroom House announced its October 24th grand opening on Twitter. In a Christmas miracle, it's been undisturbed since, despite violating federal drug laws and a list of voter-approved Oregon statutes on psilocybin. Now, to be fair, all the weed stores you see in Oregon, all the weed stores you see here in Washington, those are illegal on the federal level as well. They are. Feds can go in, can dip in, and clear out any store because it's a violation of federal law. Now, they're not going to do that, right? They're not going to do that. But selling mushrooms is not legal on the retail basis by state in Oregon or on the federal level. So these guys are just getting a head start on their competition. It's Portland. Let's just see what's going on. We defunded the police and don't have enough cops to keep the city safe. We know all about the issues in Portland. You got the whole homelessness. You got criminal activity just skyrocketing. It's a record year of shootings, murders in Portland. So you got all this other stuff going on. Let's see if we can just slip in a little magic mushroom sales action. And they did for a bunch of days. Mike Arnold, an Oregon criminal defense lawyer who has his own legal psilocybin business that operates in Jamaica. All right, let's get into that for 1 second. Believe it or not, different countries have different laws. And when you travel to said country, you have to abide by their laws. This is some serious exposure, said Arnold. If I were their lawyer, I'd be telling them to run for the hills and count their blessings. That's literally what happened in that first story I read, right? Buyers face prosecution too. Depending on their purchases, Shroom House sells portions ranging from 3.5 grams to 14 grams. Walk out of the Shroom House with anything more than 12 grams and you're committing a misdemeanor. See, there you go. They're selling stuff that's been decriminalized, and on a personal possession, 12 grams, that's a fair amount, right? That's a fair amount. Yeah. So, and that might not even be the worst consequence of a visit to the Shroom House. The business has been accumulating a detailed database of customer information, including 2 forms of ID, one of which can be a credit card. Employees have been unable or perhaps unwilling to put Willamette Week in contact with the owner. Why is that? Well, because it's not legal. State Senator Elizabeth Steiner, Democrat from Portland. Are there any Republicans in Portland? I don't think so. It's not really a thing. That's not doable. That's not reasonable. Who campaigned for the legalization of psilocybin in therapeutic settings is aghast at the brashness of the retail store. This is like somebody opening a cocaine store on Burnside, Steiner tells Willamette Week. Well, because it is. You're selling drugs that are not legally able to be sold on the retail basis. Story, if you want to check that out, you can check that out. But the rest of it kind of goes into a description of who are the owners? What are they doing? You got this LLC set up. So you can kind of see the history of, store ownership. Nobody really wants to have their name associated with this because it's illegal. It's illegal. So there's that. So next time you think about, hey, let's open up a business. One of the main things as a small business owner, as I own 3 businesses, 2 real estate and 1 media, make sure it's legal. Make sure it's legal. That's kind of where you want to be. Legal is good. And that's why I'm a hard no-go on owning anything to do with the marijuana industry, because on the federal level, so far, it is not legal. All right. So We're going to talk about, as of press deadline at 4 p.m., December 6th, 2 days ago, the shop was still slinging penis envy the way that Voodoo Donut sells penis-shaped pastries. I know a lot of people go to Voodoo Donut in Portland, not necessarily because they sell penis-shaped pastries, because they think it's really, really good. I don't know. Maybe it is. Yeah. So, I mean, go get your, if you were there a week ago, you could get your shrooms, you could get your donuts, you could get your, really tasty ice cream that's going to be moving out. What was that? Salt and Straw. Salt and Straw is going to probably be moving out of Portland because it's so dangerous and they've had so many break-ins. Yeah. Not a good location for their corporate. So thank you so much for being here. Also, check out our, Reasonable Plus Discord channel. Yeah, I've got a Discord channel going on. So what I'm doing there is I am uploading like all of these stories you're going to find there. You'll find the original stories along with a picture. You can make comments. You can do all kinds of crazy stuff. I also you remember the whole F it, we'll do it live with Bill O'Reilly. Yeah. A pretty funny one of him doing that. And then one of the cartoon characters from, I forget which cartoon it was. One of the it is really funny stuff. Post that kind of stuff there. Cause you can't have people get shot in the air and dumping rocks. So you can't have, people living on the side of the freeway. You can't have all these really depressing stories all the time. You got to have some fun. So check out Reasonable Plus, do a quick search in Discord. I'll be doing some explainer videos on how to use that and kind of fun ways that we can, put that together. Also, we've got reasonabletv.com. That's our subscription site. Some of these stories that have content that isn't, probably appropriate. We've been told that it's not appropriate because it's been censored. You're going to find content on reasonabletv.com. It's our subscription service, $10 a month. If you believe in this channel, it's a great way to support. Otherwise, thank you so much for being here. Hit that subscribe button, whatever it is you're doing, share the content. Thanks again. We'll catch up soon. Bye for now.